Welcome to the Divine Feminines podcast and channel. I'm your host, Steph Desar, and in today's episode, we're talking about the new blueprint for love. What is that? It's a brand new paradigm and it's happening right now. But before I get started, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. It's the Divine Feminines on YouTube. We're also on all major podcast platforms. That's Spotify, Apple, Google, you name it. And you can catch us on social media on Instagram and TikTok, and that's Divine Feminines with a Z. Why like and subscribe our channel? Because we talk all great things: mind, body, soul, empowerment, the twin flame journey, the new earth, the new paradigm for love, moon magic and moon manifestation. So with that being said, let's get started. First of all, I want to shout out to the lovely lady Sabrina who did my braids, and I love them and I hope you guys do too. I just thought I'd give it a change, and it's really making me feel in my divine goddess energy. I haven't done these since I was probably a child or much younger, and it's been really like nostalgic but empowering and powerful. So thank you, Sabrina. Let's get started. So what is the new blueprint for love? Well, you know, if you've been tuning into this channel, then you've heard a lot of the topics around connecting with your divine feminine energy, balancing your masculine and feminine energy, the twin flame journeys, high vibrational soul connections. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and you're more than welcome to check out our other content. Now, you don't have had to listen to the other content, but it would probably make a lot more sense. The new blueprint for love is something that is more of a vibrational love. It's a conscious love. It's basically the formation of what is going to sustain us into the new earth and into these future moments on earth, as we're phasing out of what was old earth, which I believe old earth and new earth are sort of happening at the same time, and it's dependent on your frequency, your vibration, and you doing the work on yourself, moving from a spiritual awakening into your ascension journey, that will determine you going into the new earth. I will cover some topics around the new earth because I really feel that it's connected to today's topic, which is all about the new paradigm for love, the new blueprint for love. Or we are literally crumbling our old blueprint, or the old blueprint for love. And in my opinion, hundreds of thousands of years ago, however long you want to know that this earth was around, because there's two timelines, and the really historical timeline, the one that goes back, I think, 40 million years or more, is the one that I believe in. And you may have heard of Lemuria, Atlantis, and for me, it was those, and they say, you know, the sunken land, and it was a myth and everything, but those were the ages where the real, you know, where the true conscious love existed. And then it got swept away because control, paradigms for creating a need of fear and codependency came about. It was the way to really control the earth and have forces to keep people quite subservient to higher forces, which have been more the darker energy. It's not really the light energy, it's lower vibrational energy. And those forces come into play because they're actually operating from fear consciousness, narcissistic consciousness, and the way for them to be of power is to bestow and control others and put them into the same vibration. Fear creates more fear. Control creates more control. Love creates more love, though, on the other side of it, right? So this is what we're going to get into. So if you think about, maybe your grandparents or your parents or family that are much older, like older generations, you probably may have noticed that, their marriages, they could have been for love, right? I'm not saying that they couldn't have, but it was very much expected. You get to a certain age and you get married. Doesn't matter what religion it is, but some of them were going through maybe arranged marriages or marrying someone that the family had said, oh, they're a good stature. They've got money and they're of the right religion. And, many that have been brought up religiously, whatever religion that is, that would play a part. Or, oh, they're from this cultural background or from this town and this village. Oh, we know of the family, And there's other things that come into this. And if you think about it, that's not really love, right? It's more of a setup, a structure. It's more of like creating a format. So it was a blueprint in itself, but it's not love. It's a template that says, okay, if you do it like this, then you will have stable home. You can build your home, your family. You'll have money. You'll be accepted by society. It's a survival kind of approach. It allows for power and safety. Staying in almost what is a comfort zone, but that breeds a lot of fear, codependency, and really removes people from their interdependence, especially. And, these types of relationships have been passed down through the generations. So, no disrespect to our older generations, but that's all they knew and they were shown, because this has been going on for some time, right? It's been going through the generation to the generation. And, then, you probably have heard of stories where you hear things about someone's fallen in love with someone, they got married to them, and they're like, the family's like, oh no, who is that person? Or they're from a different background, or they're a different race, color, creed, and then it's already condemned. But what if that's actually true love, like two genuine souls are feeling love between them? So this new paradigm of love, this new blueprint of love, is a conscious love. It's conscious because the souls that are, coming into this new blueprint and creating this blueprint are awakening to their higher consciousness, to their consciousness. And by doing so, they are loving themselves first, choosing themselves first, stepping away from old paradigms of love, of societal relationships. And I'm not one that's very keen on this whole marriage thing, because with it comes a lot of it has to be done a certain way and everything. And a lot of you might know that I was married before, and part of what I realized when I got into it was that there was an expectation that I had to be a certain type of way, and that was definitely triggering me, because I was awakening to, this is not what love's about. I'm literally following this kind of protocol because I feel like I'm expected to. And I very much felt like that before I started to go through my spiritual awakening and then started to ascend. And a lot of relationships and couples that are still operating in that old blueprint will feel, the upheaval, because they're being pushed to kind of awaken to their own consciousness and then their own conscious love of self, which may mean that where they're at and who they're with isn't operating at that vibration, because conscious love for self is a much higher frequency and vibration than just doing something out of format society dictates, so because that's actually not a genuine authentic choice from within, from the soul. So it's when we operate in our authenticity, we are in our highest vibration as well, right? Now, you guys know that I talk a lot about twin flames, and I was having a laugh the other day because there's a lot of people that get triggered when they see twin flame posts, and I was looking at this with a friend, and they were complaining, going, oh, this is just a way to label narcissistic behavior and such toxic kind of relationships. Now, those individuals that are doing that are very unaware of what the real journey of twin flames are, and actually what they have to go through. And it's, yes, many people try to, unfortunately label a relationship that's quite toxic and not healthy as a twin flame dynamic, to try and keep themselves stuck or to have an excuse to stay. Now, don't get me wrong, twin flames do go through and high vibrational soul connections triggering and things coming to the surface, which can involve some toxicity, right? But that needs to be cleared. But it's in the fact that it's going to be cleared and released, that actually it's getting to a higher vibration and a healthier state of conscious awareness of oneself for the other, and vice versa, to work together. And that's what the twin flame journey is about. And like I said before, not everyone is called onto this journey, because there's a certain number of twins that have chosen to awaken in this time to help the new earth. Their work is to do this, is to help create that new blueprint for love. And how do they do that? Well, they start to really awaken to themselves consciously and wholeheartedly, start to really love themselves. They probably will be breaking away from many old paradigms of lifestyle, of thinking, of being. The ego crumbles in that, in that awakening process to then ascend. There's many other souls, like light workers, high vibrational soul connections, star seeds, indigo children, all of whatever you resonate with, that are supporting the twins in doing this. But the twins are really doing quite harsh work. It's not an easy journey. And those that understand will understand and know that it actually isn't toxic, because you recognize maybe where things are not healthy, but you see it in yourself when you go and do the work. Now, this is all part of becoming one. So, the idea of twin flame separation, everyone's like, oh, why is this? The separation is an illusion, because they are, if you are a twin flame, then the other person or the other soul is just a mirror of you. So how could you ever be separated? And that process has to happen for deep inner work, right? It's a deep inner journey to really work on things that need to be cleared to become higher consciousness and connected to oneself, to really embody love in oneself, and then consciously love oneself, to then be able to wholeheartedly, unconditionally love another without dependencies or conditions, basically, because it's unconditional. So this is not just for twins, but they are doing this work right now. And so for anyone that is resonating with being a twin, know that, if you run away from this journey and you don't want to do the work, you're actually, it's not even about the other person. It's about you missing out for yourself to embody a real beautiful self-love and be at a high vibration, and to shift to the new earth dimension, right? Because right now, I personally can say I'm living in that new earth dimension because I've consciously chosen to take the steps there, and I'm consciously choosing every day. It's just the timeline we choose to be on. So many other timelines are happening, so many other belief systems are happening at the same time. It's all simultaneously happening. What one are you choosing? Your universe is your world. You are your universe in your own body, right? So it's whatever you're creating here is what's going to create the world around you. Soulmates, high vibrational soul connections, light workers, starseeds that may not feel like they're twin flame, you're still doing the work with us, because we are going through our twin flame journey to create the oneness in oneself, and that is basically the inner union. And when those twin flame unions are occurring, and many are occurring right now, this is a big year. 2022 is a year 6, which is a year of union. It's the Lovers card in tarot. And also the Devil card is the number 15 in tarot, which also deduces down to a 6, which is the opposite, the inverse to Lovers, but it's going from the old, like the toxic type of love, or the controlled, ego, obsessive, kind of manipulative love, to the free, liberal, healthy, higher vibrational, unconditional love. So that's the shift. And this is a big year of healing those relationships, healing the relationship with oneself though first, that inner balance, that inner union, that inner peace, to be able to then wholeheartedly be oneself and be authentic. And that's when you can consciously love another, because there is a real true awareness, self-awareness of oneself, and how, how this is an interaction, a collaboration of two souls creating this sort of center stage and this energy, and they're both co-creating it. There's a conscious awareness that every time we're doing what we're doing, or we choose to be together, we are creating this energy, this vibration together. And there's a conscious understanding that that also holds an impact and a reflection back to the wider universe, the earth, and the communities and the souls around us. So the twins that are doing the work right now, you keep going, guys, girls, sending you all love, because it's going to be worth it. Union is inevitable. In my opinion, it is inevitable, because this is, This is, everyone talks about free will. We'll talk about that in another episode, but divine orchestration and the divine powers are much higher and stronger than free will. And if the divine knows that there's two souls that are doing the work to embody fully unconditionally conscious love, the divine, the universe wants that to take form on earth, because it's going to have miraculous healing impacts to those around them and to those souls and to the communities, and encourage more souls to embody this conscious state of love. And it brings more light, and it's helping the new earth formation, the new grid of the new earth, to hit its highest frequency. So, we're all holding a frequency within ourselves, and when we're coming into these unions, that is also creating another, footprint frequency, let's say, in the universe. So, part of this conscious love goes through, through different areas, let's say. So the first one is, if you're consciously choosing to be with someone and you're coming to a union. Now, when I talk about union, this can be union of the twins, and the twins will be doing some serious work when they're in their union. It doesn't stop. And likewise, all the tribe. No one is better than each other, but know that the twins have probably had to go through some serious shit, excuse my language, because they've had to take on bigger and tougher lessons, because that was their sign up to come into earth. That's what they were looking to do, to bring even like large amounts of light and to help lead the way. And then the other souls, we're all connected, we are all equal, are playing their part by following suit and working. We're all a team at this, right? It's just, if you've got a football team or if you've got a ship, not everyone's doing the same job. Think of it like that. But you're helping that ship to move. You're helping that football team to play the game and score the goals, right? Because you all play a valuable part, whether you're in goal or you're up front attacking or defending or whatever it is, okay? So just see it like that. The ship, someone's got to refuel, someone's got to, clean deck, someone's got to navigate and actually be captain of the ship. Others have to make sure everything else is fine on the ships, keep an eye on the sails. I'm not really a maritime person, so I don't really know about sailing, but I'm trying to give the best analogy here. So that is really what this is all about. And when these unions and these relationships are coming about consciously, and many of you might go, oh, I've left a relationship and it was necessary. I was in a marriage, I had to leave it, or I was in a long-term thing and it wasn't serving. I did it for the wrong reasons. A lot of people I've noticed, they get together to buy homes. And I think sometimes in society it's because, they make it so difficult for you to buy your own home on your own because it's so expensive and it can be quite tough, that a lot of couples get together to just buy property. But are they actually in love? Like, is it really about that? And I think that a lot of that happens, and again, that comes back to the old style of love. It's not really love. It's like safety. It's survival. It's like, okay, let's just get together and do this because I don't want to be alone. And there's a fear of being alone. But know that by choosing consciously to love yourself and have that state of awareness and to ascend, that you are going to be wholeheartedly supported by the universe. You will always be provided for, and you will experience an incredible love. And I was saying this earlier that to a friend that, we may have had to go through quite a lot on this journey and it's not easy, but to come to earth and say, yeah, I had to take on all this work, but I've experienced a love like no other, like the truest love, the most highest frequency of love possible on earth. I'm experiencing that. I'm embodying that, and I'm continuing putting in the work to nurture it, and it itself is having a massive magnifying effect on the rest of the universe and the communities and the souls around. So how beautiful is that? Like, it's just really just miraculous for humanity. So, this new blueprint for love is a very powerful blueprint. And it is, it's almost like help create the new blueprint and be a part of it, or stay on the old earth. And I'm going to be real. We will have a choice, and everyone's souls will choose what they want. And the souls that don't choose to come onto the new earth and be part of the higher vibration, they will be going to reincarnate into other lifetimes where there's lower vibrational energies in other dimensions to do more work to evolve, right? So they might not make it this lifetime, and this is everyone's got different soul contracts, everyone's got different missions when they're coming to earth, right? So when you're in that union, right, this is this new blueprint for love. It's important that you're aware that you're not going to always be fully healed. Okay, you might have twin flames, you might have been in separation, then you come into union. You still doing the work, guys, because you can still get triggered. Something from the past might come up. Something new might come up that you thought you never even thought you had, and you thought, wait a minute, I did all this work in separation. Well, you've done enough in that time out, but you're in a state of like real awareness and self-awareness, so you can recognize, and the other will know as well. So when those mirroring moments come up, you're able to consciously talk about it, open communication, and be able to kind of connect with the other to go, like, what is it, what is it that you're feeling, and be able to express and allow the other one space to process and space, and without attacking them. So if they do feel triggered, not judging them for it, but understanding and recognizing that something's come up, giving some acknowledgement, but giving a nurturing energy, and also giving them a sort of their own sacred safe space on their own, but holding space for them at the same time to kind of process what they need to. The other part is that both individuals, both souls, are taking responsibility. They're both aware that their words, their actions, their behaviors, their feelings, it's a conscious relationship. So, if they're not there going, oh, someone didn't put the Hoover away, right, it's your fault. It's just about like, oh, okay, how do we interact and create a home life that's going to be much more, harmonious? How can we understand each other to create the home that we feel most comfortable in? Understanding that, there may be an urge to point the fingers sometimes, but just being able to kind of pull back. And sometimes if you have done that, being open and honest and going, I did that, and, I'm aware, and I want to kind of change that behavior. So being conscious about the accountability and the role that you play in that dynamic, because you're consciously co-creating that dynamic with the other. You're not just there by so happens to be there. Like, it's not like you're just there and life's happening. You chose to be there, and you're manifesting that with the other soul, and they're doing it with you too. So just, yeah, that makes sense, right? And then, this is a conscious love. It's a relationship. It's an entity. Like I said, you're co-creating, and this relationship is an energy. So every day it's a choice that you're choosing to be there, and you make that conscious choice. And so, the way you show up, your words, your behaviors, everything, you're creating that energy. So having don't know about you guys, but you probably heard a lot of my other episodes, but owning your energy, it's very much like that. Having a real ritual, starting your day on the right, in the right way, because you create what the vibe is for the rest of your day. And it's the same premise, it's the same concept. So you do these kind of core self sort of rituals, you're ready to be able to embody that and show up with those kind of techniques in a conscious relationship. And that's why I do believe a lot of twins go through that separation phase, because separation is an illusion, but they go through that phase of just being able to process and work through it on their own before they kind of like embody that in like a fully manifested union where they're doing this on a regular basis. So how you start your day, how if something doesn't go quite right, you don't let it pull you back. You kind of understand that, you navigate it, you work through your feelings. And then all feelings are welcome. So, I think it's wrong. Many people might resonate with it. When they were younger, they were told to kind of hold back their feelings and not show them and express them. You weren't allowed to cry and stuff. So a lot of us have to readdress those feelings, because our feelings are valid, and they're always valid, whether it's anger, upset. We're allowed to express that, and we're allowed to, we are meant to process that and release it. So all feelings should be embraced and welcomed, and each other, are not there to judge. And so the new blueprint for love does not judge. It allows, it holds space, it surrenders, and it supports, it's supportive, it's compassionate. And ultimately, the love is serving a higher purpose. Because if you've heard everything I've said, it's a conscious love. And in a conscious love, you are deliberately choosing to co-create a love, an experience, an energy that is higher vibration, that isn't judgmental, that doesn't look to create toxic back and forth and arguments. Yes, you may get triggered and it might have a little bit of a moment of a friction, an argument, but you are able to work through that. You don't just end it tomorrow because, oh, I don't like this, or you're pointing the blame, but you're consciously showing up for yourself, owning your own energy, as well as the other owning their own energy. And then as you're both owning your own energy, you are co-creating a third energy, right? That union is also represented by the number 3, a third energy, and you're aware that you hold responsibility for that co-creation together. And that in itself is the love that serves a higher purpose, because that's such a high vibrational love. It breaks all paradigms of what we were told, love was, like these marriages and what you see on TV and on the movies and all of that distorted fairy tale stuff, like the damsel in distress and the Prince Charming and all that. No, that's distorted masculine and feminine deities. Like, that's not the right true picture. The new blueprint for love, the new paradigm of love, is the complete opposite. It's all about, I am consciously aware of myself. I've been doing the work on myself. I heal. I understand that I am an energy that is all interconnected with this universe. I hold oneness, and when I'm with another, I'm consciously choosing to be there. I'm not a victim. I'm not just a bystander. I am there for a reason. And so that energy that is co-created is such a high vibrational energy that it holds massive healing power. It holds and unlocks new portals and gateways to multi-dimensional universes. It activates the diamond grid to bring in more love and light to earth, to allow us to elevate higher. And so it's helping to heal others around us, and it's helping to bring forth unions around us, whether that's with other twin flames, soulmates, and just, everyone kind of resonating with a soul that's on their frequency, but a frequency that's much more aligned and positive and higher vibrational. So everyone's formulating in those sequences because of the love that is consciously created with two souls. And so as more and more souls come into these unions, these divine counterpart unions, and a lot of them will be serving mission work, they will be doing work for humanity, or just their relationship will be an example for those around them. It might not be like a real, like, hey, I hold an event, or I wrote a book on my divine counterpart experience and my partnership. It could just be that you are serving your purpose. And I did the mission on earth for Twin Flames and for high vibrational souls and the soul tribe. But those, just being in those unions, you're doing work. That in itself is a mission, because you're saying yes to this new blueprint for love. And then you're saying yes, that I show up every day consciously to this new blueprint, and I am interconnected. Everything I choose to do and to allow, and everything is energy, is going to have an interconnected effect to the rest of the universe and to my other counterpart. Of course, to my counterpart first and foremost, and to the rest of the universe. So that's a big responsibility. So that being, that in itself is a mission, right? And so these, ultimately, this new blueprint for love is the only blueprint, if you ask me. And it's the blueprint that we need to all be aligning towards. And, what better than to be able to serve the earth and humanity, to rise up and be at the highest vibration. At the same time, you're becoming more conscious. And when you're more conscious, life just flows much more smoothly, peacefully, and beautifully. It's serene. It's just a beautiful state to be in. And then you're embodying and experiencing one of the truest forms of love on earth that can ever be experienced on earth. So to be able to experience that. I mean, no money or materialism can buy that. Nothing can buy that. That is something that you are gifted by the universe through the work that you do for the universe, for yourself, because you are your own universe. So as above, so below. And with that being said, I hope that this episode, you know, you found out something new, it inspires you, and you're like, yes, Steph, I'm with you, girl. We're here for the new blueprint of love. With that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. We've got more great content coming up, and I'm going to leave you with love, light, peace, and abundance. Mwah. Bye, Soul Tribe.